Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Your host Arif Jahangiri once again with the program Community Talks. You know that from last 3 or more weeks we are actually running the campaign of the councillor election, which is going to be happen on 24th of October, but the early voting starts from the 10th of October. So the peoples who are listening my show, they must decide it that go out from their home and vote for any candidate. It's not necessary that whom we are bringing here as a guest. You can vote to anybody to whom you like. But the most important thing is that you should go out and vote for the council election, because it's very important, because a lot of policies are under the town and the cities, and it's very important that we can choose the right people so our city and our town can benefit for that one. So in today's program, we invited the 2 trustee candidates. One is from the Milton Ward 3 and 4, Tabassum Wyne. Tabassum Wyne is a great volunteer and the social activist. She is long time serving in many capacities. She is fighting for the human rights, Islamophobia, racism. I heard many things about her, and she is a wonderful candidate. She is a mother of 2 children, and I hope and I wish that she will become the trustee of Ward 3 and 4. Another candidate, who is Ali Khamar, is a young man as well, and he is also the father of his children, and then he also decided to run for the Ward 1 and 5 from Brampton. And I hope and I wish that these 2 candidates definitely, who also benefited from this school system and this district school boards as well, from the Peel as well as the Halton. So I hope that these 2 will bring some changes in the society, and I hope that they will win the election. Let's meet with Tabassum Wyne from Ward 3 and 4 Milton as a trustee candidate. I invited a wonderful lady and a good, excellent volunteer, and I know that she is working in Milton tirelessly from 3-4 years. I can see that her in a different capacity she is working out, and she come out this year and decided that she want to run for the trustee election from Ward 3 and 4 from the Milton. And I asked her and requested to come to the Toronto 360 so we can understand that why she decided to run for this trustee, the district Halton District School Board trustee for Ward 3 and 4. So welcome to Tabassum Wyne. Tabassum Wyne, thank you for joining Toronto 360 TV, and I really appreciate your time as well.
Assalamu alaikum, Arif. Thank you so much for having me today.
Okay. Walaikum assalam. And Tabassum, I asked this question to also many of the candidates, most of it, because this is one of the questions that always people want to know about the candidate, right? There are many people in our audience that don't know, because those people who are not living in Milton, although I am living in the Milton, so I know you very well, but our many audience don't know. So tell something about yourself first.
Sure. So I'm a mom of 2 young children. They're 5 and 6, mashallah. I'm also a wife. I've been living in Milton for about 9 years now. I'm also a not-for-profit leader. I'm the executive director of the Muslim Advisory Council of Canada, and we recommend policy solutions to each level of government. So I've been in this role for about 3 years now, and we've made a lot of progress, alhamdulillah. And the reason that I'm running for trustee is because I believe education really impacts our children. It develops them into who they are. And I truly believe policies at Halton District School Board need to be equitable to ensure our student well-being at HDSB. So I'm really passionate about education and the future of our students, inshallah.
So, because this is something which is very different, right? And I am sure that you are the mom of 2 children, and you're passionate about their education as well. And this is the right time that you yourself want to. You yourself already studied here, and you know that how the system works in the education. Now you want to focus and you want to improve this system. That's another way of looking at things. So what are some major issues, Tabassum, that you find it out that, okay, these are some major issues which I want to change in the Halton District School Board, right, as a trustee? Because there are a lot of policies, new policies are coming, and there are a lot of and budgets, because population is increasing, but the budgets sometimes is not come up to that level, right, where the requirements are there. So these are the two major factors where the trustees have to play a vital role. So other than that, what do you want to do?
Thank you so much for that question. I'm running on a platform of accountability, equity, and transparency. I believe there needs to be accountability at HDSB. I would like to introduce an accountability strategy that is informed by diverse voices to protect the most vulnerable students from harm. And I plan to do that by year 3 of being elected. In regards to equity, I'd like to introduce an anti-racism strategy at HDSB by year 2, because we know that there's a lot of systematic racism happening at Halton District School Board. Included in this anti-racism strategy is annual training for staff and teachers. Because as the data shows, 82% of HDSB employees are white, when compared to about 67.2% of Peel District School Board staff. And there's nothing wrong with being white, but when students and families don't see themselves represented, they might not choose to go into teaching as a career. So I think that's a really big, that's a really important way that we can implement change, is by hiring diverse teachers and staff. And I think we can also look at our policies, our employment equity policies. So the Ontario Human Rights Code enables organizations to develop and implement programs to help members from historically disadvantaged groups which have experienced inequities or discrimination. So these programs aim to achieve equity by creating opportunities for people who face disadvantage and discrimination. So the board can determine that perhaps specific marginalized communities are underrepresented within the board's workforce. So we can use this Ontario Humans Code program to develop programs for the Black community. So there's a certain program we can develop and to hire more Black staff and teachers. Same with same for the Muslim community, same for other marginalized communities as well. And that's one of my big goals of being trustee, is to bring more representation within the workforce, inshallah.
So there are some challenges also now after the federal government and the previous provincial government, they bring the new curriculum, right? That's the new challenges, and they are the pupils who are religious-based pupils. Society is there. Especially Milton is quite conservative society. I know that there are a lot of religious-based pupils are living there. So these are one of the challenges, that how to keep the balance between that curriculum and the pupils who don't like the curriculum, right? And they always complaining, and they comes to the teachers and all. So how can you balance that program as a policy in your ward?
Yeah, so to be honest, as I door knock, I have not heard too much about problems with the curriculum. If my constituents in Ward 3 and 4 want to raise their voices to have their trustees advocate for them, I think it's really important to email the trustees to ensure their concerns are heard. Because a trustee's role is to look at policies and see if there's any gaps that exist, so we can make the policies work for the students and the families at HDSB, inshallah.
So especially your ward 3 and 4, there are large Muslim community is living in your ward as well, right? And there are a lot of Muslim children are going into the schools as well. So one of the always challenge for the Muslim students in all over Canada is that the Jummah prayer, right? Especially because during the summertime, the Jummah prayers are not during the 12 p.m. or something. That should be moved to the 2 p.m. So there are some schools, they allow that children will pray Jummah in their schools, but many schools not allow that one. So what should be your policy if in the Ward 3 and 4 about that type of, because, and definitely that there are other communities living, they have their own things to do as well within the school, which maybe not allowing by the school principal or school administration. So how you see those type of issues coming as a policy within your Ward 3 and 4?
I would say the first step is for students to raise their concerns to their teachers, then their principal, vice principal, and then superintendents, because unfortunately, I don't believe this is the purview or falls under the purview for a trustee, because we focus on governance and policy. However, we could take a look at some human rights policies. I don't know them offhand, so I would have to review them. But I would say there is a step-by-step process for students and families to take. So contact the teacher, contact the principal, contact the superintendents. And then if they're not able to get the answers that they're looking for, or they think their human rights are being violated, then definitely get in touch with your trustees. It's always good to have communication with your trustees, and especially somebody that can advocate for you. And I'm a big advocate for human rights. So if anyone has any issues at their schools, I would love to help, inshallah.
Inshallah. So one of the you mentioned that you want to see the diversity within the staff of a school, because at the moment there are a large number of only one community who is working in the school, although the diverse population is living around, right, mostly, but you not see those changes in the employment, right? And that, so how you bring that change, because teaching, you know that unions are very strong unions, right, in our country. Teachers unions are one of the most strongest union, and it's not easy to really implement the policies on the teaching, because the current government of province as well as the federal government, they both support those unions as well.
I will have to get back to you on that question. I don't have an answer to that. But I think what I mentioned about the employment equity, the Ontario Human Rights Code, that enables organizations to develop and implement programs to help members of marginalized communities that face discrimination. So we could create a special program, and I'd be willing to hear from the community about their suggestions. One of my goals is to have community engagement and community partnerships strengthened at Halton District School Board, because I believe diverse voices bring knowledge and bring experience, and we'd like to hear what the community wants. So that's really important to me: community outreach and community partnerships.
So I know that you are also chairing one of the important advisory group that's called you're the chair of human rights, right, advisory group, right? So what are some work you did on that level of your advisory?
Yeah, so I was the co-chair of the Human Rights and Equity Advisory Committee at Halton District School Board for the past year and a half. And I worked alongside superintendents, trustees, community partners, and parents and staff. So what we did is we worked to advise on improvements to the Human Rights and Equity Action Plan. It was called the Way Forward. It reflects the HDSB's commitment to create and maintain a safe, inclusive learning and working environment free from discrimination for staff, students, and families. We also provided specific actions to which the board would be held accountable by staff, families, and community. And that can be found on the HDSB's website under the Human Rights and Equity Advisory Committee page, I believe it is.
So I know that you are running a very fantastic campaign in your Ward 3 and 4, and you are door knocking as well. So what the parents are saying to you when you're knocking the door and we are going to them and meet them, what are some of the things they want to tell you?
Yeah, honestly, I've heard really great things at the door about Halton District School Board. I've heard really, really good things about their teachers. I've engaged a lot of parents who have very young children, and so far their experiences have been very good. But I know sitting as the co-chair of the Human Rights and Advisory Committee, there are parents on there, and they share their experiences about language that is used by some staff that is inappropriate. There are times when Black students get treated differently. So we hear all these different experiences. So it's really important that a trustee has that experience hearing from diverse voices and not their own community. So I'm not only hearing from the Muslim community, I'm hearing from a multitude of communities. And inshallah, I'm a strong advocate, but it will take the community informing me of what's going on. And I hope to just raise their voices and their concerns at a policy level, inshallah.
So what's the last message you want to give you, the voter of your Ward 3 and 4?
So whoever you vote for, I'd really like you to get out on October 10th to 16th to vote early. I'd obviously love to gain your support. Please vote for Tabassum Wyne for your Health and District School Board trustee. You also have October 24th to vote as well. And please vote for all the candidates that are running in your ward, and just ensure that you get out and vote. This municipal election is very important. So please commit to voting on those dates that I mentioned. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tabassum Wyne, and I really good luck to you, and I really wish you best of luck that you will win the election of trustee Ward 3 and 4, and you will serve the community in your best capacity, and we are really proud of you, what you're doing. So after Tabassum